I've come to the Freedom Ride because I think it's really important. I cycle a lot. I cycle with my children. I do often feel that there is danger. There's danger to everyone on the road, but there's clearly more danger to women.
I haven't cycled for long, and being part of a community is quite important to me. And so coming along to this event is quite good because I'm part of a group. So I've had quite a lot of near misses, and I sometimes feel unsafe, and I don't want that to put me off. And sometimes I do feel a bit, should I cycle in today or not? So I think this is a really important cause to be seen and heard.
Well, I've come to sort of add support and just to kind of acknowledge that cycling around London can sometimes be one can feel quite unsafe, especially as a woman, especially in the dark.
We're really trying to highlight an important issue where the London cycleways, the TfL routes, some of them are really poorly lit, and it means that women just aren't riding at night. We need them to have alternative routes that are well lit so people can feel safe.
Women are 51% of London's population, and if we've got cycleways that don't work for women, then basically they don't work for anyone. Less than 1 in 3 cycle trips are by women, so something's not working. And if we can make it work for women, it will work for everyone. It's very likely to work for kids, it's going to work for people with disabilities hopefully, and elderly people as well.
Why do I cycle? I cycle because cycling is one of my life's joys. I've always cycled.
I cycle essentially because I'm quite lazy. I like to stay in bed longer, and if you want to get somewhere fast, you go on a bike, and it gets me exercising 8 little times a day. I do all my grocery shopping, I travel, I see my friends, I do my work, I do everything by bicycle. It's the most convenient way.
It's just brilliant exercise. It keeps you fit. It keeps you happy as well. It's a really great way to get around. No pollution. It should be available to everyone, and for that we need social safety, and for that we need better cycling infrastructure.
So I think the more reasons that women aren't cycling, I think one of the issues is safety.
The main reason why women don't cycle is feelings of not feeling safe in the dark particularly, and there are sort of certain areas in London where the cycle routes are not particularly well lit and don't feel particularly safe.
90% of women said at one point they'd experienced being verbally abused or like physically abused by men while cycling in London.
I've never really felt a huge amount of misogyny off my bike, but I felt an enormous aggression while I've been on my bike. It's really surprised me. I think a lot of my friends, my female friends, don't cycle. They don't want to be shouted at or judged as mothers to have their kids on board on the road.
So women have told us in a survey that we did called What Stops Women Cycling in London, 90% of them said they would cycle more, they would start to cycle if they had safe cycle infrastructure like protected cycle lanes or like very low traffic streets. So traffic danger is probably the number one barrier.
Especially when cars are turning left and you're in the cycle lane and people just cut in front of you and don't give you way. So it's always that I'm feeling that I'm holding back. Is the car going to come in front of me? And so I have had 1 or 2 incidences like that. It's important to highlight these areas that are of concern because people that don't use bikes put in the infrastructure and they don't realise that actually what they're doing is actually more harm than good.
Most people I know say to me all the time that they wish they could cycle if only they felt a bit safer on the road. It's as simple as infrastructure. Well, it's not as simple, it's a complex problem, but we need better infrastructure.
If you look in countries where women are cycling as much or more than men, it's because they've got that safe space on the roads or off the road to cycle where they're safe from traffic, but they're also not going through scary dark places where no one's around. So it's about making sure that our cycleways are direct, are protected from motor traffic where there's high volumes of motor traffic, and are going through places where there's plenty of footfall and lighting and eyes on the streets. It really isn't rocket science. Build protected cycle tracks on main roads, make junctions safe, and that's what you need to do. That's the first and most important thing.